What's going on, guys? Today I wanted to take some time to share a little bit about my client process. So I've got a session here that I did with Hunter today. It's our first session of the off season, so this is following a big assessment on what we needed to work on last year. So he's doing a lot of new stuff in this video. We're going to get started with some alternating push-pull chest press. He hasn't trained it a little bit. You'll notice the ball between his legs. I'm having him also drive his hips together and drive his glutes up. Clenching his glutes, clenching his hips, just trying to work more things at once. Next, we move on to single arm overhead farmer carries. We're really working on anti-rotation in his core here, as well as some shoulder endurance. It also helps with the forearm because he's constantly stabilizing with the forearm. It's a good, kind of a good way to mimic our arm pump. Next, we're doing some tricep press-ups. These are going to kill his tries. This is later set, so he's dying there. Blackburns, it's a great way to attack our rear delts, which are typically underdeveloped, especially in motorsports athletes, because there's so much you do with forward-rounded shoulders. Here, this is an interesting one. It's the first time we've done it, so there's some things I want him to work on from here. Things will improve on as we're moving forward, but we needed to do some neck training. We found that he's essentially got what you call glass jaw, in the fact that he will come off the bike and, a normal incident, and he'll go lights out, and out of caution we have to kind of stop for the weekend and make sure that he's not concussed. And past couple times this happened, there's been no concussion. What's been happening is his neck's been moving too much because he's got some muscle imbalances there, and he's had previous trauma. So he comes off the bike, the lights go out, nobody's home. It's not an ideal situation, so it's one we're working to avoid in this off season by training his neck here. That first one is kind of what I want to work on with him. You saw as I was pulling back on his head, his tendency was to push his chin forward to resist it. I want him to get better at tucking his chin rather than pushing it forward to resist the movement. There, the band almost comes off. That's my fault. The other three he was really good at. That first one we need to improve on for sure. And it's just going to be a process, chipping away, working on this all off season to make sure that we're keeping him conscious as best we can and avoiding injury. Next, we move into another stability drill. So he's holding the water bag out in front. It's super unstable, super hard to just hold still. And I'm giving him stimulus to resist. So I'm pushing, pulling, poking, slapping, anything I can to throw him off balance and challenge his coordination, kind of resist the external forces that are sometimes can be a little unpredictable when the motorcycle is putting input back on you. So that's what we're working on here. Up next, this is an interesting one. It looks funny, but where I'm having him do somersaults for the exact same reason as far as the lights going out during races. He was even telling me during these somersaults he's getting dizzy, so it's something that we're going to work on every single session to make sure that his brain is used to that tumbling sensation and that movement, and his inner ears are calibrating properly when that happens. Lastly, today we finished up with some hand-eye coordination drills. Give him some credit here. He just had LASIK surgery, so he's adjusting to new lenses. It's a challenging process for him, but it's going to be a lot better in the long run, and he's doing really well regardless. Eventually, we're going to progress to the point where his hands are above mine, and he has to react in time to catch him as I drop the ball, which will be a lot more of a quick reaction time. But we're doing a lot of training here to optimize his reaction time, optimize his eye tracking, and there's some rebuilding work we have to do due to his recent LASIK procedure. We kept going here until he got 2 in a row. You can see he's rubbing his eyes occasionally. The eyes are super dry from his procedures a couple days ago. So, like I said, give the man some credit. You can't judge him too harshly based on this performance because just had major eye surgery. Gets his 2 in a row, done, throws him at me out of frustration, shows off that he's coordinated with some single-hand juggling. I get it, Hunter, you're talented. So if you got some value out of that, feel free to follow me on social media for more content like this. I'm going to keep trying to do breakdowns just to educate and show the things I'm looking for when I'm training my athletes. And if you've got any interest in my services, feel free to reach out. Bringing on more one-on-one clients, and I've also got my Road Race Accelerator program, which is a great entry-level solution.